Hey all, Cypher, and welcome back to another Dislyte video. Now, this is going to be my second part of the Sentinel Hunt guide. Now, for those of you who do not know, Sentinel Hunt has gotten completely revamped. It now has 3 different bosses. So I just made a video on Mr. Phoebe Projection here right now. It was yesterday, I think, and today it's going to be all about Countess Sonica. Now, Countess Sonica is probably going to be the hardest boss that you'll face in the Sentinel Hunt. Like, I can pretty much say that because there's a lot to unpack, there's a lot to uncover. So yeah, stay tuned. I'm going to be trying my best to explain this in probably the best possible explanation that I can without causing too much confusion to you. Currently, I've achieved the highest score of EX+. It's on a lower side. I'll agree, I have hit EX as well while trying to do these runs. So even if you're getting EX, don't be disheartened. Do not be disheartened. You'll still get 50 Nexus Crystals. You'll get a little bit lesser club points. I think it's like 220 compared to like 240 on EX Plus and 265 on EX Plus Plus. The Nexus Crystals do remain same at 50. So yeah, do not be disheartened. Your goal should be to at least get probably EX, or EX Plus is even good. Now, of course, EX Plus Plus is like the best option, right? So coming to the boss, she is kind of similar in the sense that she does not have any HP, so there's no real goal to defeat her. The goal is to stall the fight as long as possible. So the Countess Sonica has 2 phases. The first is called the Frenzy phase. Alright, so I mean, Frenzy mode is kind of like the mode where you should potentially deal the most damage to her, just because she has a passive where she will take literally more damage from a selected Esper who has the highest defense in the team. So as you guys can see, defensive fighters, they've given Jawser, Donner, Kangji, Renzi. Honestly, Donner is perhaps the best option out of the 4 here, just because he skills way better and he deals more damage than Renzi, even because he's a legendary, right? Kangji does not deal damage, like, let's be honest. He's not that good, right? So yeah, the first one is she is going to have 2 phases. The first one is the Shimmer mode. Second one is going to be Frenzy mode. So wait, I got it reversed. Holy shit. Yeah, Shimmer mode is when she will do that defensive stuff. So the debuff is apparently called Searing Sight, right? No wait, Spotlight. Spotlight it's called. So when an Esper is having Spotlight, his defense and his damage will be increased. And when he dies, he will instead give speed to Countess Sonica, right? So your whole goal should be to take as many turns as possible with the Esper that is going to be spotlighted before she'll go into a frenzy mode, right? So the faster she takes her turns, the faster she'll go to frenzy mode, and when frenzy mode happens, she's gonna go down, right? So let's take a look at her skills first. In the normal Shimmer mode, this is pretty usual skill 1. It's a single target 2 times, doesn't really match her. Audio Lash, now this deals decent damage because each stack of Searing Sight grants extra damage for each hit. Now Searing Sight is essentially all the rest of your Espers, except the Esper which is spotlighted, right? Your defense guy. They all will do almost 0 damage. Like, they'll do like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. They won't do shit, right? The whole damage will come from pretty much one single Esper. So yeah, each stack reduces damage taken, and she will get this Searing Sight, 2 stacks of Searing Sight at the end of her each turn. So at max stacks, which is 25, she will essentially be taking 0 damage. Like, even from her Spotlight Esper, she'll take 0 damage, right? So your whole goal is to take as many turns with your Spotlight Esper to deal damage to her and try to negate her turn, by manipulating her AP, because in this phase, she is not immune to AP manipulation. In the second phase, she is, but in the first phase, she's not, right? So your goal should be to try to make her take less turns while your spotlighted Esper is going to take more turns, right? That's the whole gist of it. There's a lot of blah blah written all over, basically. She will also remove your buffs, special effects, reduce their max HP, and the last part is she will then inflict this hardcore voice. Now this is where it gets interesting, because this passive, it will dictate what the rest of the 4 Espers that you will take into the match will be, because the first one is obviously going to be a defensive fighter, like we already mentioned, like a defense scaling champion like Donner, Renzi, even Jawser. But yeah, as I already said, Donner is the best choice. So this passive states that she'll gain 1 Searing Sight stack at the start of combat. She will then of course inflict the Spotlight buff on her most highest defense Esper. Then she'll inflict this hardcore voice, which is undispellable, by the way. This is insane, right? Like, this is insane. This buff, this will basically negate the entire damage, like, dealt towards her by the other espers, right? So in a sense, that's why I said your other espers will deal like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. They will not do deal damage. They'll instead take a lot of damage because of this debuff. But there's a good part, because when a buff is dispelled, they will recover HP, but all other healing received will be reduced. So essentially, our goal is to bring as many dispellers as possible to dispel buffs, right? So I mean, it gets crazy. Honestly, it gets crazy. But yeah, I mean, healers are not that good in this match, so it's useless to bring healers. That's why this trick is MVP here. Jin Yu Yao. She's gonna dispel all the bleeds that the boss is gonna throw at you, along with the Mrs. Gabriel. She's just broken because she brings a lot of utility in the amount of buffs. Second up is Phantom Sisters, the best speed lead in the game. She also dispels one buff. Yeah, she dispels one buff from one ally. Dispels all debuffs and also grants invincibility. I mean, that's pretty much pointless, but she also grants speed up, which is huge, right? But yeah, that's all I can do. Sandra is there for turn manipulation, because as I said, you can manipulate her turn meter. Honestly, if I had a Lucas, I have not fused a Lucas yet. I'm so dumb. Yeah, but if I had a Lucas, I'd pretty much put a Lucas here instead of probably Gabriel. I don't think Gabriel is that useful here, but yeah, you should definitely use Lucas there. So that concludes the first phase, which is called the Shimmer mode. Now moving on to the next phase, it's called wait, why am I taking formation looks here? Where are the tips? There we go. So the second phase is called the Frenzy mode, right? Now the Frenzy mode is where the shit actually goes down. Like, this is where she gets some crazy bullshit abilities. The first one is an AoE. It's an AoE, hits 3 times. Each hit has like chance to inflict bleed, the additional chance for 1 more stack of bleed. So automatically, you can already see you're gonna need a lot of debuff cleansers, a lot of immunity bringers, healers, stuff like that, right? Her second spell, again AoE, she inflicts buff block, dispels all buffs as well. Keep in mind, buff block, speed down. So this is like, imagine if an Esper had this ability. Like, I think that would be pretty much the most broken Esper in the game, straight up. But yeah, I mean, this is as broken as it gets, right? The third is Spotlight. Now this was our own Spotlight, right? It's not like the same Spotlight buff that she used to give in the first phase. She enters a charge mode for 1 turn. Now, charge mode is basically she reduces her own speed, and she resets all enemy ability cooldowns. So basically, all your cooldowns will be resetted, no matter on which turn they were. Like, their 7-turn cooldown, well, they'll get reset, right? So you might think, oh, that's good. But when charge mode ends, she's gonna attack all enemies 4 times. Each hit has a chance of expending their ability cooldowns by 1 turn. And then each hit also inflicts this 1 bafflement stack. Now, this is where it gets crazy. Each hit reduces the carrier's damage. This can stack up to 4 times. And believe me, guys, the damage reduction is real. Like, it stacks up pretty fast, and it's huge. It does not say how much it reduces, but I've seen in game it reduces a lot, right? So there's a lot of cringe abilities here, which basically makes you automatically lose over time, because your damage will get pretty much mitigated, and your damage taken will get more amplified. Immune to AP down effects, so you cannot do bring any AP down espers like Lucas, Anders, none of that shit. Increases damage taken based on the number of hits dealt each turn. When taking a hit in charge mode, if the number of hits taken during this turn is greater than the number of absolute range stacks on the attacker, increases the number of absolute range stacks equal to the number of hits Countess Sonica takes. I mean, this is where it gets truly niche, right? So if you guys do not know Fafnir, right? Fafnir has that passive where he has that shield which needs a certain number of hits to be broken. Now, well, she is putting these buffs on herself, right? So if you do not do more than 4 hits at least, well, then you're gonna not deal damage to her pretty much. So you need espers to at least have multi hits at least more than 4 hits in their skills to be able to deal damage to her when she's in charge mode, right? And if you fail to do that, well, she'll increase these stacks. So as you guys can see, she'll increase these stacks of absolute range, depending on the difference of hits that she takes during this charge mode. So suppose you only deal like 3 hits or something. Well, she is not gonna take damage, and she'll instead get 1 more remaining stack of absolute range. I think that's how it works. I can be wrong as well, but I feel that's how it's written here. I know it's pretty confusing. I was really confused at first when I read this, but yeah. Also, it's a cool mechanic that assists and pursuits, they also count as hits, by the way, for each Esper. So assists and pursuits, there's a good tabular form. There we go. Yun Chuan, Brewster, Hall. All of these Espers can do like additional attack, right? Yun Chuan does it with his dog. Brewster has that assist mechanic. Hall has that pursuit mechanic. I think even there's an Esper missing. Alice, I think Alice also has a joint attack. Is it counted? I don't know if joint attack is counted as assist and pursuit. But yeah, also there's a lot of things, a lot of Espers missing, by the way. I just realized that in the Phoebe boss, there was a guy in the comments. He mentioned a really good point. I think his name is Ian Frederick. He's a very good viewer, by the way. So yeah, shout out to you. He mentioned a very good point that Tang Zuan also brings diseased, and she was missing in these recommendations. So I guess it's weird. I guess they just made it like they probably made a mistake or something, because most of the units are there that do the stuff. So I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty cool to see how this is gonna work. For me, I have already shown you my team first. For the first phase, my team is consisting of these 5 Espers in top row. The second phase is where I expect them to be able to take them down in frenzied mode. Meredith, solid speed booster. She also deals good damage, multiple hits. Dahlia, good AP booster, AP pusher, sorry, right? Abigail, again, good AP pusher, more damage amplification. Chloe, multiple hits. Sally, just for more sustain. Third is going to be a bit more geared towards damaging them, because all of them have multi-hits. That's why I've chosen them. Literally all of them have multi-hits, right? The twins are going to be pretty powerful. If you have twins, I think it's the perfect time to use them. And granted, my Espers are at like R6. At least my epic Espers, they're all at R6. So yeah, I mean, for a new player or mid-game player, it's going to be tough for sure, right? So I could blitz this, but I don't want to blitz it. I want to show you guys. Wait, what? Wait, no way. Wait, no way. I recorded this whole part. No way, bro. You cannot do me dirty like this. I can't even blitz it? Well, that's a bummer, guys. That's a big bummer, but yeah, I think I can show you my challenge records. So this is where I did EX. This is again EX. Other guildmates doing EX, 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 EX. Then I had to EX plus. So as you can see, majority I'm doing EX, EX plus, right? So the rewards, again, as I said, they do not really change much except the club points. You're still getting 15 excess crystals, no matter if you do EX, EX plus, EX plus plus. Also, if you do EX plus plus, I think that's the most amount of energy you can take out from the boss. I think it's 45, capped at 45, by the way. EX plus is capped at 42, and EX takes out, I think, 39. I think so. Wait, how much does it? No, it takes at 40. Yeah, it takes at 40. I mean, that's cool, right? So it's barely a matter of 2 points. If you got active club members, I think you'll be able to stomp this boss anyways. So yeah, shout out to all of you who are trying to do this. I think these new Sentinel bosses are so fun, and this is perhaps Countess Sonica is perhaps the most, I would say, most difficult out of all 3. So expect me to make a video on Darkstar Lord tomorrow. But yeah, for now, peace. I hope you guys have a great day ahead. I'll see you later.